The pews were silent. The once thunderous voice of Pastor Jimmy Swaggart had long faded into memory, replaced now by whispers, echoes, and questions. After decades at the helm of one of the most influential televangelist ministries in the world, Jimmy's death left behind not only a legacy, but an empire. Jimmy Swaggart Ministries wasn't just a pulpit or a choir, it was a sprawling multi-million-dollar business machine with worldwide reach. From television broadcasts to music labels, publishing houses to Bible colleges, JSM had become a towering religious industrial complex. But as the world mourned the passing of the fiery preacher, all eyes shifted to one person: Frances Swaggart, his wife, his anchor, his silent partner, and now, the sole holder of his legacy. On the outside, Frances was the grieving widow, but behind closed doors, she was gearing up to make the most pivotal announcement of her entire life. And when she did, it shook the entire Christian world. The calm before the storm. In the weeks following Jimmy's death, the family worship center in Baton Rouge saw record attendance. Some came to honor the man, others came with curiosity. Who would take over? Donnie, Gabriel, or someone no one expected? For decades, Frances had kept her voice subtle, controlled, never overpowering her husband's thunderous sermons. But those close to the Swaggart inner circle knew Frances wasn't just a wife. She was the strategist. From Jimmy's TV empire to product launches and ministry partnerships, Frances had been orchestrating movements from the shadows. And now, in Jimmy's absence, she wasn't going to hand over the reins without a reckoning. But no one expected the bombshell she was about to drop. Behind the ministry gates, power struggles erupt inside the headquarters of Jimmy Swaggart Ministries. The mood was tense. Gabriel Swaggart, the young, charismatic face of the next generation, believed he was the obvious successor. He had been hosting Generation of the Cross, he had the energy, and he had the youth on his side. But Donnie Swaggart, Jimmy and Frances's only son, wasn't ready to bow out. Donnie had his own flock, his own sermons, and had carried the weight of scandal and redemption on his back for years. Behind closed doors, the Swaggart family wasn't praying together, they were positioning. Whispers of secret board meetings, sealed legal documents, and estate reorganization circulated. Long-time staffers began getting mysterious calls. Who was in, who was out? And Frances was silent. Until the Sunday no one forgot. July 6th. The announcement that shook the faithful. The family worship center was packed. Cameras rolled. Live streams were buzzing. Even major news outlets had picked up the teaser. Frances Swaggart to make historic announcement on the future of JSM. Dressed in all white, Frances walked onto the stage alone. No Donnie, no Gabriel, no choir behind her, just her and a single microphone. Her voice trembled at first, but quickly found its rhythm. For over 60 years I stood by Jimmy's side as he built something greater than any of us imagined. But behind every sermon, behind every song, behind every scripture, there was a structure. And now, I must decide what happens to that structure. The audience held its breath. Then came the bombshell. I have made my decision, and it is final. Not Donnie, not Gabriel, but Jimmy's ministry will not be handed down like an heirloom. It is not a crown, it is a calling. And as painful as it is to say, I do not believe either Donnie or Gabriel are called to carry it forward in its entirety. Gasps rippled through the sanctuary. Frances continued, "This ministry is not a family business, it is God's house, and I will not allow ambition or entitlement to destroy what the Lord built." In that moment, you could hear a pin drop. Donnie, watching from the wings, stared blankly. Gabriel, sources later claimed, walked out before she finished. But Frances wasn't done. Effective immediately, I have appointed a team of spiritual and legal overseers, non-family members, to serve as custodians of this ministry. They will preserve Jimmy's vision, ensure transparency, and protect this house from division. The room erupted. Why Frances said no? Frances later revealed in a private interview that she had prayed for months before making the decision. According to her, this wasn't about blood, it was about burden. I watched what this ministry did to Jimmy, the weight, the scrutiny, the temptations. I saw Donnie struggle with his own demons. I saw Gabriel focus more on cameras than calling. I had to protect what Jimmy died protecting. Behind her calm demeanor was a woman who had seen too much. She had endured scandals, heartbreak, betrayals, and had learned that power in the wrong hands destroys everything. What was Jimmy's original plan? Shockingly, sources close to the family revealed that Jimmy Swaggart left no official successor. His will named Frances as the primary executor, but gave her full discretion over the ministry. According to one insider, Jimmy didn't believe in writing down who should take over. He believed God would reveal it to Frances, and now, she's done what she believes is right. Still, not everyone agreed. The Swaggart divide, a family torn following the announcement, reports emerged of a deepening rift between Frances and Donnie. Donnie allegedly confronted his mother in private, demanding an explanation. Their conversation was described as intense, with raised voices and tears. Gabriel, on the other hand, took to social media days later. Sometimes you think you're the chosen one, until you realize you were just a placeholder. Cryptic, bitter, loaded with pain. The reaction from the congregation. The congregation was divided. Some praised Frances for her courage, saying she protected the ministry from falling into hands that weren't ready. Others were devastated. "We grew up believing in legacy," one churchgoer said, "and now it feels like the Swaggarts are being erased from their own story." Frances responded in a later service, "Jimmy's story will never be erased, but his legacy was never about us. It was about him, Jesus. And that's who this ministry belongs to." New leadership, who are they? Frances announced the names of the new JSM board: pastors, theologians, financial experts, and former ministers from around the country. Most notably, Pastor Kenneth Burns, former Baptist megachurch leader known for transparency reforms. Dr. Lisa Harrow, a theologian with a reputation for breaking down racial and gender barriers in ministry. Bishop Emmanuel Rhodes, a powerful Pentecostal voice with deep roots in urban outreach. Together, this new council vowed to keep JSM alive, not as a family brand, but as a faith movement. What happens to Donnie and Gabriel now? Sources say Donnie is considering starting his own independent ministry, with a possible move to Texas. Gabriel, meanwhile, has begun hosting online devotionals under a new name, Awakened Fire. Some claim this may be the end of the Swaggart dynasty, as the world knew it. But Frances, she sits quietly now, rarely appearing in public. One former staffer said, "She didn't want to be queen, she just wanted to protect the kingdom." Final words. Whether you agree with her or not, Frances Swaggart has done what few ever do: put mission above blood. In an age where legacy is everything, she chose preservation over power, clarity over chaos. Jimmy Swaggart's voice may no longer echo from the pulpit, but thanks to Frances, his message just might. And in the end, that may be the boldest sermon of all.